Hello everybody, and welcome to IFC Tier 2. Sorry it's slightly late today. I couldn't quite start it on time due to just a couple of issues. But we are here now, and we are at Brazil. We're currently on board with second place man in the championship, Bassi 21, in his Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo, of course, completely running away with the Constructors' Championship. Absolutely dominant at the moment. We'll have to wait and see what they can do, of course, today. The two of the three men, fighting for the championship here. I shall give you a quick little rundown of the standings, because I'm pretty sure you guys have already forgotten by this stage, or maybe you don't know what actually the order is. Of course, we had a week break last week, so it's been a little bit of time, and we should be, well, we're going again today, and it's looking good so far, with Lasse Crack currently leading, who I don't think has done a single race so far this season, and not looking too bad at all. But championship as it stands, Jacob leading on 160 points, is Bassi in second, Kilger in third, and those are the guys fighting for the championship. There is a gap of 35 between Jacob and Bassi, only a gap of 4 between Bassi and Kilger. It's pretty close at the front, but Jacob only has to put in a couple solid performances, and he has most definitely secured himself the championship, of course, with not many rounds left to go. We've only got 4 to go here. It's getting to the pointy end of the season as Budget Burrito goes fastest. Very nicely done from him at 7.2. Will we see any times in the 6s today? We might just see that. Lewinsky goes up into the lead. Jacob goes ahead of his teammate. Very nicely done from him. And, of course, Coy is in 4th. He's kind of in no man's land at the moment. He's a good 26 points ahead of Oscar, who's not racing today. But he's also about 50 points away from 3rd. So we've got a big gap there. Kilger's number 1 supporter, Charles Coulier. Interesting. Not sure I believe that, but we'll go with it. Who is on a lap? That is a good question, isn't it? That is a good question. Rambo is not on a lap. He's going pretty slowly. Jake is on a lap, and he is down. He's not on a lap. But he's already gone past the split. He hadn't. Eli invalidates the Tier 3 driver currently, reserving in Tier 2 as Deaton goes very wide there. He's not had the best of seasons. Definitely a season to forget. Hello, Jake. And yeah, I am very curious to see what these guys can do after 3 weeks away. I'm excited to be back, and I'm excited to see how the order has changed. Lau currently sat in 6th place. We know he is a qualifying genius. Hasn't managed to turn those qualifyings quite into race wins so far. Not that many anyway. If he has got one, I've actually forgotten. But Arrows, I am alright, mate. I am alright. It's wonderful to be back. Thank you for having me back, Arrows. I was a little bit worried after 3 week break you would have found a replacement for me. Apparently not, so that's wonderful. It is very interesting that Lewinsky is leading. He was starting to get back in his groove 3 weeks ago, and now is right the way up there again. He has found his mojo after switching, of course, onto the wheel. He's finding his mojo again, and it's good to see. And just quickly, of course, we can see what laps people have set their tyres, what tyres people have set their laps on. And of course, we've got our 2 championship rivals on the medium compound tyre. The 2 Alfa Romeos are using the harder compound tyre to start off with. Jacob finishes his lap and goes into 8th place. Very nicely done from him, and beats the soft compound runner on the way. Zaki Boy has now switched over to the softs. He did his first lap on the mediums. And yeah, hopefully we do get a good representation of what Tier 1 will be like tonight. We have a very, very strong grid for Tier 1. The return of BRT Flynn and NRM as well. He is back. You might remember him from the first couple of rounds. an extremely fast driver. Doesn't get an opportunity to race very much, but he is back once again. So watch out for him in this one. And of course, our championship rivals in Tier 1, Stonks and Darcy with the PC Boy still there. And also Aiden is there as well. Who just moved up the order? That is Keep Hyper. Very good lap from Keep there. That is not expected, I have to say. He's not had the greatest of seasons, but he's going back at it. Zachy Boy goes fastest, almost in the sixes now. We're getting closer and closer to the 6 mark. There we go. His Lasse Crack has broken it. He's used one more set of soft compound tyres than most other drivers in this one so far, but still very, very fast time. He is top of the timing sheet so far. Hilgard just starting his flying lap. Watch out for him. Third in the championship at the moment. Where can he get that car in this qualifying session? We'll have to wait and see. Koi set his lap time on quite old softs, so we'll see what he can do here. Yeah, BRT do dominate our Tier 1 lineups. A lot of them in Tier 1, especially, or even in Tier 2. You can see a couple with Wolf, and then Kilgore as well is BRT, I believe. So yeah. And Koi, I think, is BRT. He is on invalid lap as Lau. Oh, he jumps over the curb, and that will be an invalidation for him. Very easy to do, unfortunately. Then Lewinsky is up on his lap time. The Red Bull driver will stay on board with him for this one. Yeah, the cancelled XPRE driver literally just learned about his past, but does not matter when he's on the racing track. All that matters is his driving right now, and he's leading the way. Lewinsky then coming into the final proper corners of this lap. He's going to be pushing his heart off to make it work as he dives into the final corner now. 1.8 tenths up. That would be enough to get him, I think, just about into provisional pole position here. Lewinsky, what kind of time can he set? He activates the DRS. About to come across the line. What's going to be for Lewinsky? And it is fastest. Very nicely done for him. But only 600ths faster than Lasse. It's definitely a time that people can beat. Kilgore's invalidated. Not good for a third place man in the championship. Koi has been on those tyres for a long, long time. He needs to pull into the pits soon. Jake, unfortunately, not looking too great. Koi, by the way, does this every single week. He comes out and he just kind of stays out for a long, long time. There we go. Bassi, fastest of the drivers so far, but only by 7 thousandths of a second. Now that is close. That is ridiculously close. And he will be wanting a bigger buffer there, as Jacob, already up by 1.5 tenths, will stay on board with him for the remainder of his lap here. We're expecting him to go most definitely into the sixes. But we'll see whereabouts in the sixes he can get to. Lau moves fourth. Somehow slots himself in a gap that is extremely, extremely small. Less than a tenth gap he saw himself in. He moves up into fourth place. It's so tight at the front there. 1/10 of a second separates. The top 6 now. That is absolutely ridiculous. As now Jacob through the final corner. What time will it be for XRL Jacob, our championship leader in both the Constructors and the Drivers' Championship? And he sets only enough for 4th place in the end. He does get in the sixes, but not quite enough to beat his teammate or Lewinsky or Lasse Crack as it stands. Kilgore's got to get himself back out pretty soon, and we'll see what he can do. Liam is invalidated. Wolf has invalidated. Eli's pulling into the pits. Nosman's in the pits. Deaton was on his out lap. Burrito just starting his lap. Trizzy on a slow lap. Zachy Boy just starting his lap. Lau is on a slow lap, and Jacob has invalidated. So we shall stay with Zachy Boy. He is the furthest along in his lap. Let's see off-board cam of this beautiful, beautiful Interlagos circuit. You guys know it very, very well. Of course, most people know this track so well. Such a good track to drive. And Zaki Boy has invalidated. Oh, it's a big shame for him. It is Interlagos circuit. Such a nice one to drive. Got a lot of undulation to it. It's got some really satisfying corners to get right. And of course, the final sector, which only really has one corner in it. The rest is just a long, flat-out section. Such a good one. Right then, Burrito. Putting his foot down and heading towards the start-finish line. What time will it be? The man currently sat in P10. He pulls into the pits. So only people on outlaps there now, except from Deaton, who's on the soft compound tyre as he gets his foot down to start a flying lap it will be. Although he's not going full throttle. So maybe going to pull into the pits and go again in a second? No, he's just going to take one more lap to prepare himself for this one. Can't boff the setup for a lap, otherwise the lap is pretty much ruined around here. You don't get a good exit out the final corner, you lose a lot of time. And with it being such a long straight, it's those couple miles an hour, I mean, quite a lot heading into the first corner. Rambo on a lap. We'll see how well he can do on this one as he flies down the second straight, the second DRS straight. The DRS straights actually very close together on this track, aren't they? With only three corners, between them, and then you have the rest of the track between again. So those are the only two DRS. Oh, we messed up there. Not good for Rambo. He invalidates. This lap is gone. Slipped away from him as now Jobbo crossing the line. What time will it be for the AlphaTauri driver? It's enough for P9. We're slightly down in the first sector, so maybe there is some more time in that lap. We'll have to wait and see. Only 2 thousandths behind Rambo, so Rambo can't sit too happy as he puts down the throttle now, starting his lap. Lasse Crack also starting his lap. Kilger starting his lap, as so is Keith Piper, I believe. He is just starting in a second. Eli just got the line to start his lap, and so has Deaton. A lot of people on laps just starting their laps at the moment. Keith Piper actually quite made the line yet. Jobbo quite a long way away from finishing his, but Lau is pretty close to finishing his lap. Where can he put the car? We'll have to wait and see. Is Kilger also close to finishing his lap? Oh no, he's actually backed out of that one. It will be Lau who's next across the line. He comes to the final corner. He's down by quite a lot. So he will be the next across the line. He won't be the next to set a flying lap time. Who will be the next? I do not know. It is a predicament. It will be the Whiskey, I believe. No, it's Lasse Crack. He goes fastest. Very nicely done from him. As now Lewiski crossing the line. It's enough to take him fastest. Only just though. That is a gap of 200ths of a second. These two going nose to tail at the moment in terms of lap time. So close. Rambo splits the two AlphaTauris. The McLaren guys doing very well today. Jacob is slightly down, and so is Bassi actually. So maybe both of them won't improve on their time. Now that would be a big surprise here. Keith Piper moves up into P7. 3 thousandths faster than Lau. I expect Lau to beat him there, but anything could happen. Bassi about to cross the line, then what time will it be for him? He doesn't go fast, and he was slow on that last bit, wasn't he? Very slow indeed. So Jacob goes second. It's Bassi in fourth. It's got so much harder for him now. And Kilger, third place man in the championship, about to run out of fuel. Of course, this has to be it for him all as he tried to get as much slip to him as he physically could. Crossing the line, he only goes sixth. He only does enough for sixth. And that means that there's actually a McLaren in between each of the title contenders. Now that is a bit of a predicament for Bassi and Kilger. They've got to get past a McLaren each. Well, 2 McLarens for Kilger and 1 McLaren for Bassi to get on the back of their title rival Jacob, who's starting this race in 2nd place. And he'll be a very happy man about that one. Starting on the front row, we know he has good starts. And especially with Lewinsky new to a wheel, he might have a slightly worse start than he would on a controller. This will allow Jacob to really bring the fight to him straight off the line. And then, guys, I want your predictions for who is going to win this race. The wilder the better. Any prediction for the race would be wonderful. I want to see what you guys think is going to go down, because this could be a massive, massive race in terms of for the championship. This could allow Jacob, if it stays as it is, Jacob will extend the lead to 40 points with 3 races to go after this one. And that would be absolutely gigantic for him. But it is Lewinsky on pole position. 12 thousandths of a second ahead of Jacob. And only 10 thousandths behind Jacob is Lasse Crack. The top 3 separated by less... The top 4, sorry, separated by less than a tenth of a second. Now that is ridiculous. The top 7 separated by less than 2 tenths. This top 10 is so close together. You guys are going to watch out for this. Kilger, Jacob, then Bassi. Interesting. Kiwi, you should probably practice, especially with the fact that you've been bet that if you win, you get a holiday to the south of France and tickets to the Monaco Grand Prix. So I'd practice if I were you, Kiwi. Just saying. But, you know. Bassi goats. So I'm guessing you're saying Bassi's going to win. I would assume that's what you're saying anyway. Kilger winning, Bassi second, Jacob second, Bassi third. That's interesting. Just take out Luca. Yeah, if you do actually have a crash with Luca now, that looks very sus. So be careful not to... Arrows, you can't say anything about a Q1 knockout. Every single week, you are knocked out in Q1. And then somehow finish 10th. But, you know. That's a different thing. I'll turn all of this off for the start. And let's have a look at the strategies people are on then. So Deaton starting on mediums. Only 3 people outside the top 10 starting on the softs. That is Zaki Boy, Wolf, and Nossman all starting on the softs. They're looking for good starts. They're looking to get in places at the start. The rest all on the mediums. They're playing the long game. They think that's going to be the better strategy. Wait, you've got to Q2 in the past 2 weeks. Arrows. Wow, that is impressive for you. Right then, Lewinsky leads from pole position here. He's getting some last-minute tyre warming in before the AI takes over, and it's time up for him. The AI has taken over. Oh, no, it hasn't. Not quite. I thought it had. That's interesting. He's decided to go straight for a while. Now the AI has taken over, and they will be slowly making their way to the grid, except from Bassi's AI has decided to overtake multiple people here. It's all good. Does not matter. Deaton will be the last one to form up onto the grid. The 19-car grid here at Brazil. Only team that doesn't have 2 drivers is Williams and Eli. The only representation for Williams currently sat in P17. So not looking great for them. I'm sure you can fight back through. Deaton just about to form up onto the grid and we'll be ready to go here in Brazil for the start of a wonderful, wonderful Brazilian Grand Prix. We've got 4 lights. We've got 5 lights. And it's go, go, go here in Brazil. Disaster for Nussman as he gets a drive-through penalty off the start there. Lasse cracks right around the outside of Jacob. Can he make this one work? He's going to try his hardest, but Bassi comes at him. Bassi's like, no, I'm getting through at the start, and he does get through at the start. Very nicely done from Bassi there as Kilger gets past his McLaren as well. He gets past Rambo at the start as his teammate now trying to get past as well. He can't quite get through as it stands. There's a Haas dive down the inside there. That's Zaki Boy and Wolf. Oh, when he gets a massive focus here. So does Wolf. Wolf ends up in the wall. And Zaki Boy loses multiple positions. Not great for him there. Lau now chasing down Keep Viper. Will try and make a move. Keep Viper gets a little bit out of sorts heading into the right-hander. As Koi makes a move on Trizzy. Very nicely done down the inside there. It's Lau now. Does he have the run on Keep Viper? The answer, unfortunately for him, is a big bat. No, as Keep Viper dives down the inside. Hits the back of Koi. Big stab focus here, causing a collision between him and Trizzy as well. He must have wing damage, he does. And that will send him right the way to the back of the pack at the end of this lap. Eli has made a big mistake there as well. I think he's just spun, unfortunately for him. But now Jacob chasing down Nowitzki. DRS not active for another lap. And have to sit behind for the time being. He's not got the run he needs to make a move without it. We've got a lot of people in the pits. Eli making up some nice positions because he didn't get any damage. So he did spin. Zaki Boy on Jobbo. Is he close enough? The answer is no. And Jake is losing touch to the soft compound runners. As that is expected on the mediums. Lasse, can he make a move on Bassi? He'll be looking to take back that place. Of course, started in P3. He'll want to be staying in P3. He'll want a podium, but he's not quite close enough at the moment. Bassi, with his superior race pace, we've seen that throughout the entire season. Bassi just has some amazing race pace. I don't know where he gets it from, but he finds just that extra bit during the race, and it's incredible to watch. Watch out for him during this one. As Jacob now 4/10 away from the Whiskey. He's actually lost a little bit of time from the last time he went past the start-finish straight. But DRS now active. The Whiskey sets a new fastest lap in the process there. Jacob will have the DRS now heading down towards turn 4. We've got a long, long DRS train right the way down to P9 here. Jacob will activate the DRS, start heading towards the Whiskey. Is he close enough? The answer is unfortunately no. We won't get to see some action this time round, possibly though, down the start-finish straight. Any moves further back? The answer is, again, a no. Nossman has pulled into the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. No, he hasn't. He served his drive-through penalty. Now he's coming into the pits to change his front wing. Evening, Matty. How are you? Zaki Boy now making a move on Jobbo. He's going to at least try to. On the better set of tyres, he's going to try and use those to his advantage. Because, of course, he will have to use that medium compound tyre later on in the race. So he needs to take advantage of the speed now instead of waiting until later. Unfortunately, though, for him, Jobbo has got DRS from Jake. So it's going to be a hard overtake to make. As Jacob just doesn't have quite enough speed heading down the start-finish straight here. As he deactivates his DRS halfway down the straight there, interestingly enough. And so now use it again, gets a slightly worse exit than Lewinsky, but he's got a great run now through turn 3. He'll go down the inside of Lewinsky into turn 4, and he takes the place. Very nicely done from Jacob there. Lewinsky drops down to second place, and we'll have Bassi right on his tail. As Lau tried to make a move on Trizzy that time round, but I don't think he could quite make the move. Well, he obviously couldn't, he's still behind. Jake, I think, tried to make a move on Jobbo. Again, it did not work. Oh no, Jobbo made a move on Jake, sorry. Jobbo up into P10, Jake down to P11, and Zaki Boy stays in P12. Again, going to try his absolute hardest to get ahead of Jake and ahead of Jobbo and start catching up to the other soft compound runners in this one. Is Lewiski close enough with the DRS to make a move on Jacob? He's going to be trying his hardest. He activates the DRS, starts heading down towards turn 1, but he's going to be too far away. The gap is 3/10 right now, unless he dives down the inside. Is he going to go for the move? No, he's not. He decides against it. For some reason, we're looking backwards right now on the broadcast cam. As Bassi now making a move on Lewiski. Surely he's got such a good run. He's got the DRS, but I don't think he's not using his ERS. As Lewiski was down into turn 4, so he managed to hold on to that position for the time being. As Lau gets ahead of Trizzy, down the inside into turn 4 he goes. And up into 8th place he goes. Very nicely done from Lau. Now got to chase down Coin, get himself that DRS for next lap. The top guys still separated by a matter of tenths. They're so close together. This top 9 still all within DRS range of each other. Ridiculously close here in Brazil. And Lewiski seems to be dropping further and further back from Jacob. And Jacob seeming to be extremely fast around this track, which is not good for Bassi. Sat in P3. He's got to get himself past Lewiski before Lewiski loses contact with Jacob. As he might dive down the inside. No, he won't. He decides against it. Might go for a move into turn 4. Seems to be the place to make a move, but he's very slow through the centre S there, isn't he, Lewiski? You can tell he's just not quite happy with the way the car sits, and is having to compromise slightly through the centre S. As we have a spinner, and I believe that is Liam. No, it's not. It is Jake there. Who is it? It was the spinner. Who knows? I think it must have been Liam. Yeah, it was Liam. And he drops down to P14 now with Eli making a move down the inside. Very nicely done from him. Back to the leaders though, and Bassi makes a slight mistake coming out of the on-camber left-hander at the bottom of the hill there. But he gets another little snap of oversteer. Bassi not looking too hot at the moment, but he's going to keep on pushing. He's going to get himself right up to Lewiski and Jacob. And, of course, got to try and defend from Lasse Crack at the same time. Lasse gets, though, a big snap of oversteer. That's going to compromise him heading onto the start-finish straight. Is Kilger going to drop his ERS to get through? No, he is not. Whereas Lasse Crack used a little bit of it to hold himself there. And will be holding on to the position. Lewiski, again, through the centre S, very slowly. He does struggle through there. He really does struggle through there. There's now Bassi. Is he going to make a move around the outside or down the inside? No, he's not. In a stalemate at the moment. Lewiski not quite fast enough to make a move on Jacob, but he has got enough speed to keep himself ahead of Bassi, which means that Bassi has enough speed to keep himself ahead of Lasse, and so on as you go down to Trizzy. Unfortunately enough, that is what a DRS train does to a race. As Liam tried to get back past Eli into turn 4. He couldn't quite make it work, so staying in P14 for the time being. Eli will try and push himself towards Jobbo, but it seems like a tough ask at the moment. Lewiski surely now, with the DRS activated, can make his way into the lead of the race. Heading into turn 1. He's got so much speed. He pulls alongside the race leader, dives down the inside in the Red Bull, and takes the place. Very nicely done from Lewiski there. A great move. He won't have the DRS heading. Oh, Bassi's out! Bassi's crashed. Second place man in the championship. Bassi is out of the race as Jacob still fighting with Lewiski. This is a perfect opportunity for both Jacob and Kilger now. If Jacob wins this race, he extends his championship lead by 25 points. As long as Kilger doesn't score more than 4 points, which of course he has currently. But that's still a big advantage in Jacob's favour now, especially with Kilger not looking too hot round this track. That's a massive mistake from Bassi. It's all come crumbling down for the second Alfa Romeo driver. And earlier on in the season, if you were to say he was going to make a crucial mistake like that, you'd think you would be absolutely insane to say that, because he looked so strong early on in the season, almost couldn't be beaten. But Jacob swooping through now, possibly to take the lead of the race. He's going to try it. No, he's not. He stays behind, heading into turn 1, and we'll look for a move into turn 4, I assume. As now he gets up the gears, will activate the DRS and start charging his way towards Lewiski. The gap closing by the second. He'll go around the outside. Lewiski backs off. He knows he's not going to be able to hold on to that. And Lasse Crack just about stays ahead of Kilgore as well. Nicely done from him. But Jacob retakes the lead of the race. And retakes that 25-point advantage on his teammate. Kilgore now the only problem for Jacob. But it's looking very, very nice for him heading into the final 3 races. It stands as Deaton's now out as well. Deaton crashes out and we'll end up in a bit of a kerfuffle here. Will we have a safety car? Let's hope not. Pretty sure he's off the track. And yes, he is. He's actually parked in the pit entry. Let's hope no one manages to... let's hope no one tries to pull into the pits right now then, as that would not be fun. His car does now disappear. He'll go chasing down Lasse Crack still, but with the DRS, he just can't make it work. Lewiski still not close enough to make a move on Jacob. Can he go for a move, though, heading into turn 4? I think the answer is going to be a big, fat no, as he loses quite a lot of time there. But Jacob, he's dropping his DRS completely, and he's almost got none left here. Lewiski playing the long game. He's got a lot remaining on him as Coy makes a move up into 5th place. And this really is a battle of the teams. We've got 3 different teams. Well, we did have 3 different teams. We do still have 3 different teams. We did have 4 different teams fighting it out in the top 8 here. Unfortunately now, it used to be a top 9. Now it's only the top 8 after Bassie's retirement. We have 3 teams now fighting it out and 2 solos. There's 2 solos. Lau and Jacob, 1 in 7th, 1 in the lead of the race. This is wonderful for Red Bull, though, after last has to be said, is more of a struggling season than we thought it would be. But they've really come back and have an opportunity to overtake McLaren in the championship and Aston Martin as well. Aston Martin are 3rd in the Constructors. Red Bull only 29 points behind them. McLaren are only 22 points behind them. Both teams looking very nice to catch up to Aston Martin today. Of course, if their strategy works, both the Aston Martins on the mediums, we could see a 1-2 from them, or a double podium from them if that strategy ends up being absolutely superior. But normally strategies are quite similar around here. Soft, medium, or medium, soft. You've got to take the softs to around lap 20. Well, really lap 20. Lap 16, really. If you can, lap 20 wouldn't be too bad, I don't think. Kilgore closing up on Lasse once again, but they both have the DRS. That is the big problem for Kilgore at the moment. They both have DRS. It's helping him along as Rambo pulls into the pits. He's the first of the leaders to pull in, and he'll be heading on to, what will it be? It will be the medium. So he's going soft, medium, soft here in Brazil. I would assume all the other drivers are going just a one-stopper. That would make much more sense. As now Trizzy, will he make a move? No, he won't. He decides against it. Stays behind. What happened, Bassie? What happened? Didn't see it. I just suddenly saw that you were out. Yeah, don't know what happened there, mate. You could fill us in. BRT Wolf gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. This race gets worse and worse by the second for him, and he does retire from the race as well. So we're down to 17 drivers here in Brazil, and it's a 7-car shootout now for the win. Of course, Rambo just having pitted. Will we see anyone else pull in? Yes, we will. We see 2 more cars pull in. Jacob and Kilgore, they'll be going for the same strategy as Rambo. They'll be going for a 2-stopper, I would assume. Maybe they're going to take those mediums 23 laps. That is a possibility. It's unlucky, Bassie. That's very unlucky. Happens to the best of us. By the best of us, I mean the best of you, because I'm nowhere near as fast as you guys. But Jacob now coming out the pit lane. Hopefully for their sake, they're ahead of Rambo. And Rambo, though, he's right there. Has the undercut worked? The undercut often works round here. He comes out side by side with Kilger. Kilger crosses the white line as he exits the pit lane. Oh, and Rambo goes off. Has he lost part of his front wing? Kilger also goes off. No, his front wing's safe. But that was a big mistake from the pair of them there. Trying to get the jump on each other and pretty much just missed their braking point. Oh, that was a close one. Important for Jacob to get out ahead of Liam, because now he can use the DRS to get himself past Eli instead of getting stuck in a mini train. So that's good for him, whereas Kilger will have to do it the hard way. He'll have to fight through a train. There's Coy and Lau now pulling into the pit. Seems like everyone is going for this strategy. Lewinsky, though, and Lasse Crack and Trizzy all staying out for the time being. Saki will also staying out. Lasse Crack gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He's been off the track one too many times. Eli closes the door very late on Jacob there. Heart in the mouth stuff, but he sticks his car there still and gets himself ahead of Eli. As Coy drops behind all of them, that undercut really does work. Rambo might actually be ahead of Coy as well. He doesn't quite get ahead of Coy. Just that big mistake at turn 4 last lap, but undercut we know does work. Will Jacob get himself ahead of Lewinsky here? We'll have to wait and see. First off, we'll have to wait and see whether Lewinsky will actually pit. That's the first thing, because Lewinsky might decide he's not going to put into the pits at this stage. He might decide that he's going to wait it out and then pit for mediums later and be much faster later, but it looks like he's pulling into the pits. He is pulling into the pits. Lasse Crack stays out. That was a late decision for him to stay out there. He bumps across the asphalt and we'll be going for one more lap. The only driver to have not pitted in this race then, or that started on the soft compound tyre. Of course, still some medium runners that are yet to pit. Where is Lewinsky going to come out then? Ahead or behind of Jacob? Jacob seemingly ahead of him at the moment, but remember, Lewinsky has the shorter run through the pit exit. It's going to be very close here. Has Lewinsky done enough? The answer is no. Lewinsky is going to be coming out next to his teammate, actually just behind his teammate, and drops from the lead of the race down to provisional P3. And Coy's done an absolute blinder there. He's jumped himself up into provisional second, and Red Bull looking even better now. Lasse Crack, though, I think does need to put into pits. Rambo has disconnected. Oh, that's not good for him. Let's see if we can get him back in here. Everyone else is still here. Eli's got some bad internet issues, I must say. Lasse Crack now does pull into the pits. Where will he be coming out? I think after his excursion over the lumps and bumps of this track, he'll be behind most of these guys. Definitely behind Coy, who's just got himself past Eli, so will start chasing down Jacob. Unless Lasse Crack has done a blinder. No, he hasn't. He might end up behind Lau. He does end up behind Lau. So he comes out the pits in P8, which is provisional P5. Eli now getting overtaken by Lewinsky as well. Both Red Bulls pass him in a matter of 4 corners, and Eli's underfueled his car. Is going to be unhappy with himself there, especially with the fact there hasn't been a safety car yet. And of course, underfueling your car in this game kind of means you need a safety car, otherwise you're very underpowered to get that to back. Do a lot of lifting and coasting. Oh, as he makes a mistake, and that will allow Lau through. Oh no! Oh no! Eli gets another snap of oversteer, and Lau gets affected. He's reset to track, and that will be a penalty for him. Not good at all. Not good at all. Jake pulls in. He's heading on to the softs for the rest of the race. And so has Eli, although we'll probably be pulling into pits pretty soon. He's actually getting a wing replacement, is Jake. So probably not a planned stop here. Eli pulling onto the softs as well. His tyres did seem pretty worn as Lewiski trying to make a move on his teammate. Oh, he gets pushed wide by Coy there. A bit of hard racing from the Red Bull drivers. They're not giving each other any mercy at all. They are fighting for limits here. Just had a prediction in the Mercedes Academy chat that Mercedes Academy is going to win both Tier 1 and Tier 2. The furthest up Mercedes Academy driver is Liam. He's yet to pit. So the one after that is Eli, who's 12. And he's not looking too fast today. We'll see what he can do, but yeah, he's a Tier 3 driver, remember. So probably not going to be the greatest of races from him. Rambo, still disconnected. Still not looking great. Lau on Zaki Boy. Is this a move he can make here? He's going to try and go down the inside into turn 1. Zaki Boy gives him the room. Round the outside, Zaki Boy's trying to hold on here. Lau down the inside, now around the outside. And that is Lau's place. Very nicely done from Lau. As Lewiski now does get past Coy and up into the podium spot as it stands. Jobbo still yet to pit though. Rambo has now rejoined, so he has a chance to get back on the back of the pack, but it seems like he'll have to reside in P13 now, unfortunately for him. Right, can the Red Bulls work together? Now they have a McLaren on their back. Can they slingshot themselves towards Jacob? That's what they're going to be trying to do, at least, I would assume. They've got to work together. They've got to get themselves further up the order here. As I think Coy is going to go through into turn 1. And Lewiski is going to fight it though. The Red Bulls go side by side again through turn 1, 2 and 3 this time. Oh, they get very close. They touch wheels as they head through turn 3. Coy now has the DRS and the ERS. This is going to be his chance to make a move around the outside. He's running out of ERS as Lasse Crackdown goes down the inside on the 2 Red Bulls. And I think he's made a mistake there doing that. And he has been spun round. And down into P6 he goes, now down to P8 and out of the points, not quite out of the points, P10 was 3 wide was not the decision he probably should have made, didn't quite see that properly. It's possible that he was completely squeezed, but 3 probably shouldn't go 3 wide, especially in a part of the track that does close up quite quickly. Hilger gets himself ahead of one of the 2 people who haven't pitted yet. And Liam moves down to P7. Jacob close to making a move on Jobbo now. And Coy maybe dives down the inside into turn 1. He went for it, decided against it at the last second. Slammed on the brakes. And stays behind, but now heading into turn 4, he's going to try and make the move. Jacob makes the move on Jobbo. Can Coy make the move on his teammate down the inside into turn 4? This Red Bull battle is so entertaining. He gets himself through, up into 3rd place. And Lewiski goes down to P4. Trizzy will be just sat behind and waiting for them to crash into each other, because it's almost only a matter of time at this stage. They're getting very, very close and holding each other up quite significantly. And remember, of course, this is allowing Jacob to really pull away and is almost securing Jacob. The big old 25 points. Nossman has made a mistake on that hard compound tyre. He's down to last and is about to be lapped, unfortunately for him. As he gets on the power, it's going to be too late. You can see Jacob behind him. Jacob will be very happy about that, I have to say. He won't be upset, I don't think. Nossman's now there, but Nossman will be annoyed at himself. He gets a big snap oversteer, and this gives Jacob a little bit of DRS as well. As Trizzy makes a big mistake heading into turn 1, and now drops off of Coy and Lewiski. And it's going to open the door for a Ferrari battle here. It won't, but it's a possibility there. Hilger actually struggling at the moment. He's provisional P5, but he's just not looking as fast as he was earlier on in the race. And can't keep the pace with the leaders at the moment. It's not great for him. not great at all, especially if he does end up finishing in P5. Jacob gains 15 points on him. That will extend the championship lead by a lot. That would extend it by 11. That's a lot in these dying stages, and that would increase the championship lead from 40 right the way up to, of course, 51. Lewinsky gets ahead of Coy, but Coy will be able to come back at him now with the DRS. Lewinsky has a lot of ERS to burn. He's not going to use it though, as Coy goes down the inside, heading into turn 4. This position is Coy's this time round. Very smartly played from... I've seen this in both their driving. Wily old foxes on Coy and Lewinsky. They've been around the racing scene for a long time. They know when not to and when to make moves, as Eli and Jake have a little bit of a scrap here, a little bit less clean. But still a good fight. Eli up into the final points playing position. They've kind of got to work together here to chase down the medium compound runners. This is the chance they have. They kind of need to take advantage of it. Jobbo now falling into the clutches of Coy. When is he going to pull into bits? The answer is now. Jobbo pulls in and will go on to the softs till the end. Where would he come out though compared to the other soft compound runners? Eli currently sat in P10. I think Jobbo should be out just ahead of him here. It's going to be close. Jobbo now gets moving again. You can see his dot in the bottom right hand corner. He gets moving. And he'll put down the power now, as they are pretty much equal on track. But Jobbo has a slightly shorter line. I think, though, he will be behind. He will be behind. And Jobbo will end up in P11. Jake and Eli, though, still fighting. And with older tyres than Jobbo, it shouldn't be too hard of a task to catch up to them. Possibly make moves on them. Let's have a quick look at the penalty situation. Trizzy has got 9 seconds of penalties. That won't help him, but it does promote Kilgore up into 4th place. Actually, no, it promotes Zaki Boy up into 4th place. Kilgore will stay where he is, because Zaki Boy has no penalties as it stands. That penalty from Kilgore costing him 12 points instead of the 10 that he's getting. Wow, getting himself ahead of Lasse Crack. What? Said it, he just got ahead of... It must have been Zaki Boy making a move on Lau there. Probably got past for a second and then dropped back behind as Eli making a move on Jake. He gets through and up into P9. Once again. And Jobbo is very, very close now. I think Lasse Crack's got some internet issues. He seems to be dropping quite fast, unless he's just making a lot of mistakes, but seems unlikely. As the two Red Bulls kind of just on their own at the moment, you can see in 2nd and 3rd. They're just sat there, 5 seconds away from Jacob is Coy, and Lewinsky's 3 seconds away from Trizzy. So in their own little race, and currently occupying 2 podium spots. Big points haul for Red Bull this weekend, that would make it, and will help them gigantically in their task to get 3rd, in their fight to get 3rd. There we go. As now Eli making a move on Jake down the inside into turn 1. The Williams driver goes and he gets up into 8th place. Very nicely done from him as Liam makes a move on Lasse Crack. There's definitely something going on with him. He's struggling a lot at the moment. Something definitely going wrong. Oh, as he messes up once again. It's almost as if he's lost his mojo. As Eli now gets a good run on Jake. Jake just got through on the inside but made a slight mistake. Eli went for the switchback. Now they're side by side heading through the long right-hander, but Eli drops behind, decides against it, and will stay in P9. I think he just got a track limit warning there. Went slightly too close on the inside, and that won't have helped him out. Lewiski now pulling up to Coy. He's not going to be close enough to make a move though. He's got a lot of ERS in reserve compared. So we could see in the dying laps a move to that position as Kilger gets past Trizzy. P4 for him. And he'll try and pull away from Trizzy now as Trizzy gets another penalty, which will drop him way down the order as Eli gets past Jake into turn 1. Very nicely done. Jobbo will be trying to follow him through with 6-lap fresher tyres. Three-second penalty for Lasse Crack as he's now out of the points and not looking good at all. Jobbo getting past Eli down the inside. Can he make a move on Jake now around the outside? No. But these fresh tyres really helping him. If he can get past Jake, he definitely has the pace to pull up onto his teammate and then possibly chase down the likes of Kilger and Trizzy and Zaki Boy as well. So we'll see what he can do here. He needs to get past Jake quickly though, as Jacob has started the 27th lap here in Brazil. As Jake went very, very wide. That might actually allow him a good exit out the final corner, ironically. And could help him hold on to his position. Although, Jobbo's got the ERS, he's got the DRS. Lau gets past Zaki Boy. And Jobbo will get past Jake here into turn 1. Even before the braking zone. Very nice. Zaki Boy getting back ahead of Lau. Great battling there. Zaki Boy holding on to his position with expert precision. Very nicely done. Trizzy actually getting on the back of Kilger once again. Burrito's out. And that is on the track, I think. Is it going to be a safety car? No, it is not going to be a safety car. It's going to be a yellow flag. The marshals here are very, very good. I don't know why it's not a safety car, I have to say. Keith Piper sets fastest lap. But he is in P14, so that doesn't amount to anything at the moment. All it does is remove it from whoever had that point before. Lewiski, is he close enough to Coy? No, he is not. And Jobbo is now really chasing down Lau. But Lau getting chased by Zaki Boy. No, he's getting past Zaki Boy. Nicely done from him. Zaki Boy has underfueled his car as well. So has Kilger. We've had no safety car and Kilger's underfueled his car. No, Trizzy hasn't. But Lewiski and Coy have. This could put these guys in such a tricky position later on in the race. Zaki Boy making a move on Lau once again into turn 4. Expertly done from the Haas driver. Very nicely done there. But the guys who've underfueled their car, Zaki, Kilger, Lewiski and Coy, they were expecting a safety car and they're not getting it at the moment. If they don't get a safety car, they could run out of fuel before the line. And that would mean dropping down many, many positions. And that would not be good. He doesn't have the pace to make a move on Coy into turn 1, possibly into turn 4 though. We'll have to wait and see. He's getting much, much closer, but Eli is close to Jake. He'll have the DRS and no ERS though. They're both very low on that. Heading into turn 1, Eli's got the run on him and he'll take up 9th place. Burrito has left after his crash at turn 3 only a couple laps ago. Didn't bring out a safety car though. Luckily for Jacob, he is fine on that front. Jobbo would be looking so good if there was a safety car now. He'll be almost wishing for one. He's closing up to the gap to Lau very fast. The more Lau and Zaki Boy fight, the better for Jobbo. As Lau gets a big slap of oversteer, unfortunately for him. Lau too far away to make a move this lap. Is Trizzy close enough to make a move on his teammate? The answer is no at the moment. Is he close enough into turn 4 though? That is a good question. He drops back so far. So far. Sorry, just had to sneeze. Heading into turn 4 then. He's not close enough. But during the S section, he's very, very slow through the centre S's, isn't he? Very slow. So, yeah, interesting one that. Jobbo's caught up about a second in the last lap. He's probably got to catch slightly faster than that if he wants more than just 7th. We'll see what he can do though on that soft compound tyre. Still worry for the guys who don't have enough fuel to make the end of the race. Everyone who has a yellow petrol pump there. It means they've underfueled the car, and it means that they were hoping for a safety car. They'll have to use low fuel mode, but that is extremely, extremely slow. We could see some of these guys really starting to lift and lift and coast here. I think that's exactly what Coy was just doing. Lewinsky making a move on him then, and Coy dropping down to P3. They do a little bit of a switcheroo to the Red Bulls. And Lau getting past. Zaki Boy up into P6 he goes. Zaki Boy down to P7. Oh, Coy's coming back at Lewinsky. Coy trying to go around the outside. Lewinsky down the inside, and it is Coy's place. Nicely done from him. Zaki Boy makes a move on Lau up into P6, but this is just allowing Jobbo to get even closer to them. Another second gained. As Jake makes another move on Eli. They're trying to double their points at the moment, of course. E9 gets double the amount of points that P10 gets, so they're fighting very, very hard for the 2 points. Lewinsky now right on Coy. He activates the DRS, starts flying towards him. Is he close enough to make a move? Coy makes a slight movement heading into the braking zone. Not enough to throw Lewinsky off though. He decides against the move, and we'll just keep with that decision. Lau and Zaki Boy going side by side, but Zaki Boy backs out once again, and will probably go for a move down into turn 4 once again. Seems to be doing that every single lap at the moment, although he seems too far this time. And he seems too far behind Trizzy. Too far behind on Kilga to make a move. Let's have another look at the penalty, shall we? And that's great news for Jobbo. He'll be into P7 as it stands due to penalties. Not amazing. Does Keep Piper purposely crashed himself out there? Almost looks like it. Let's hope he hasn't. He completely cut the grass. Yeah, I agree. Eli's internet is absolutely awful. It's constantly on the high ping thing. And my internet's not too much better, but it's good enough. Lewinsky then trying to get himself past Coy for second place. He's not going to be close enough heading into turn 1. The move will have to happen into turn 4. But again, these guys, they've not got enough fuel to make the end of the race. That is worrying prospect for them. As soon as that fuel thing goes flashing red, it means they've got less than a lap left. So we'll find out when that happens. But Coy gets passed by his teammate as he gives his teammate a little bump draft there as they head up the hill towards turn 5. Almost going for a move into the fast right-hander there, decided against it. That would have been a stupid move. Jobbo, his progress is slowing down now, and I don't think he's going to be able to catch up enough to get within Lau's 3-second range, so he might have to settle for 7th here. Jake still chasing down Eli. He's now got his teammate behind him as well. So the two Aston Martins are going to be trying to take both the points-paying positions. Of course, they're still fighting for 3rd in the Constructors. And they're going to still be bringing their all. As one of the Aston Martins has just spun, that is Jake. Coy going around the outside of Lewinsky. One of the teams trying to beat them to 3rd is Red Bull. And today they'll be getting 18 and 15 points for each of their drivers as it stands. That's a massive, massive amount of points for them. And of course, it's McLaren as well, but it's not looking too great for them. Zaki Boy getting closer to Lau again, but still with the issue of low fuel. When are these guys going to run out of their fuel? Have they done enough fuel saving to get to the end of the race? I'm not sure. Rambo getting fastest lap. That moves him up into P12. Yeah, moves up into P12 because Jake had to pit after getting some damage. But Rambo will not get a point for that fastest lap, unfortunately for him. Big shame, but he won't be getting a point because he's outside the top 10. Whiskey still trying to chase down Koi, and this battle still raging on. Will he go down the inside? No, he won't. Still being conservative. Of course, they still got to save that fuel. With only 2 laps to go, when is this fuel going to start running out for these guys? When are they going to end up running out of time? Eli's running out of time. He's got less than a lap of fuel left, and we've got 2 laps to go. This will be at the end for Eli. He'll drop out the points. A big shame for him. Koi's got less than a lap of fuel to go. Heartbreak for the Red Bull driver. With 2 laps to go, he's about to run out of fuel. His teammate's still managing to hold on. But Koi, I think his time is up. And so is Kilger. He's run out of fuel as well, with less than a lap to go on his fuel meter. He's going to have to do so much saving in this last lap. Zaki Boy somehow managed to hold on to his amount of fuel. But this is not good for the 2 Red Bulls who were looking so strong. They both ended up running out of fuel. They've got to lift, surely. They're not going to lift. They've got less than a lap of fuel to go. Lewinsky only had that warning heading into the final straight. But Kilger, he's running out of fuel and he's running out rapidly. As soon as that gauge goes into hard red, I mean, they've completely run out. They're in low fuel mode, and that is what's happened to Eli. He has fully run out. Zaki Boy, less than a lap of fuel to go. I think he's just about going to be fine. He's done enough fuel saving to get himself to the end. Have Lewinsky and Koi. Koi is not. Koi is on low fuel mode. 4th place man in the championship. He looks set for a 2nd place. He's on low fuel mode currently. Oh, and that's a shame for him. He's going to be going quite a lot slower now. And acceleration will not be there. But I think he's just about going to be fine. Luckily for him, he's done enough in the race to make it work. Kilger has not. And Zaki Boy, though, has. Somehow, he's managed to make it work. And it is Jacob with the win. The Whiskey 2nd. It's Koi 3rd, even on low fuel mode. Lost over 2 seconds in that final lap because of it. Trizzy ends up in 7th in the end. Kilger ends up 5th. Lau 6th. It's Jobbo 7th. Trizzy in 8th. Liam comes home in 9th. Eli, actually, because there's such a big gap between him and Lasse, he still takes home a point. Lasse Crack will come home in P11. Rambo in P12. Jake in P13. Keep Piper P14. Nosman P15. We still have to wait a little bit for Keep Piper to cross the line. He was just about to be lapped, I think, when the he was just about to be lapped when the when Jacob crossed the line, but he ran out of fuel after that. So the AI has passed him. He's going to be trying to get ahead of Jacob now and then cross the line. But that shows you have to be careful on your fuel, and it's meant that Kilger's lost out on a position to Zaki Boy, and he's just Keep Piper is currently slamming into Jacob for some reason. Still slamming into Jacob. He'll cross the line to finish 2nd last. P14. Wow, what a race! What a race! XRL Jacob extends his championship lead by 11 points. That's a big moment for him. It's Lewinsky in 2nd, Koi in 3rd, Zaki Boy 4th, and Kilger 5th, Lau 6th, Jobbo 7th, and Trizzy in 8th. The gap at the top of the championship has extended itself And it's extended itself up into it was 35 points before, 46 now. That is a big, big gap heading into the final 3 rounds. But still all to play for. 3 races means 78 points are available. So it's not over yet here in Tier 2. It's not over yet in Tier 1 either. Coming up next in only 17 minutes time. Make sure you tune in because there's only a 12-point gap at the top of that standings. So watch out, guys. It is about to go down. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all in a matter of minutes.